I learned this the hard way. Years ago, I had a friend who was always helping. She'd check in constantly, bring me things I didn't ask for, and make me feel like I owed her my gratitude every moment of the day. At first I thought, wow, she's so kind. But over time I started to notice a heaviness in my chest when I saw her name pop up on my phone. Because her kindness wasn't free, it came with invisible strings. And if you've ever felt drained around someone, questioned your worth because of a single conversation, or wondered why you felt smaller after spending time with them, you already know what I'm talking about. In this video, we're going to explore 5 types of people who can unknowingly sabotage your growth, and how to see through their masks with clarity and compassion. You'll hear real-life examples, the psychology behind their behavior, and gentle but powerful ways to protect your energy without losing your empathy. By the time we're done, you'll have what I like to call your inner radar, a quiet, confident sense that lets you spot manipulation, projection, and hidden control before it takes root in your life. So take a deep breath, settle in, and let's start this journey together. Because once you see the shadow, you can never be fooled by the mask again. We've all met them. The people who follow every instruction to the letter, who believe every headline, who trust authority without a second thought. On the surface, they seem like model citizens, dependable, polite, and orderly. But Carl Jung would urge us to look beneath the surface. Blind obedience often hides a deep fear of stepping into one's own power. When someone trades their intuition for the comfort of external approval, they also give away their freedom. Think about the coworker who shuts down creative ideas because that's not how we do things here. Or the family member who warns you not to challenge the system because rules exist for a reason. In their world, safety comes from staying inside the lines, even if those lines are outdated or unjust. And here's the twist. The most obedient can also be the most controlling. Why? Because your independence threatens their illusion of security. It's not that these people are bad. They're often unconscious. Their identity is fused with the beliefs they were told were right, so questioning them feels like questioning their very existence. The danger is subtle. Spend enough time with someone like this, and you may find yourself doubting your own instincts, just to keep the peace. Lesson: respect for rules is healthy, but wisdom is knowing when a rule serves the greater good, and when it simply maintains the status quo. In a world that rewards compliance, choosing to think for yourself is an act of quiet courage, and the more you practice it, the harder it becomes for others to sway you. Up next, we'll meet another type, the ones who make you feel strange for not joining in. If you've ever been judged for saying no thanks to a drink or a cigarette, you'll want to hear this. And if this insight resonates, subscribe to the channel and share what you'd like us to explore in our next video. Your ideas shape this space. You've probably met this person before. You're at a party, a work event, or a family gathering, and someone offers you a drink. You smile and say, "No thanks." Suddenly, it's like you've just announced you're from another planet. They tilt their head, laugh awkwardly, and throw out a playful jab. "Oh, you must be fun at parties." Or they press, "Come on, just one won't hurt." On the surface, it's harmless teasing, but underneath, something deeper is happening. Your choice not to participate, whether it's drinking, smoking, eating certain foods, or skipping gossip, disrupts the unspoken group agreement. Most people want to feel normal, and that often means everyone behaving the same way. When you opt out, you become a mirror, reflecting the choices they'd rather not examine. I once had a colleague who would offer me a drink every Friday after work. Every time I declined, he seemed more irritated. Finally, I realized it wasn't about the drink. My no quietly challenged his yes, and that made him uncomfortable. Carl Jung would call this a shadow confrontation. Your clarity, your willingness to stand apart, stirs something in them they haven't integrated yet. They may project that discomfort onto you, labeling you boring or too serious. But their reaction isn't about you. It's about their fear of being seen without the mask the group provides. Lesson: staying true to your boundaries is not rejection. It's self-respect. And sometimes it's also an invitation for others to see their own patterns more clearly. In the next section, we'll talk about another subtle influence, the helper whose kindness comes with invisible strings. If you've ever felt guilty for becoming more independent, you'll want to hear this one. And if this resonates, subscribe to the channel and tell us which hidden behavior you'd like us to explore in a future video. Your voice shapes this conversation. We all love generous people, the ones who show up when we're struggling, who bring soup when we're sick, who offer advice when we're lost. True kindness is a gift, but sometimes help isn't just help. Sometimes it comes wrapped in invisible strings you don't see until it's too late. I once knew a woman who offered to help me with a big project. At first, I was grateful. She checked in daily, offered suggestions, and even took some tasks off my plate. But when I started making progress on my own, her tone changed. She'd remind me, "Don't forget who got you here," or she'd make me feel guilty for not following her advice exactly. That's when I realized her help was never free. It was an unspoken contract that kept me dependent. Carl Jung would call this the shadow of the caregiver archetype. These people build their identity around being needed. When you heal, grow, or step into independence, they can feel abandoned, even threatened. It's not that they don't care. It's that your self-sufficiency forces them to face a question they've avoided. Who am I if no one needs me? Lesson: healthy support empowers you to stand on your own. Unhealthy support keeps you tethered so you can't leave. The difference lies in whether the giver can celebrate your independence without feeling diminished. If you've ever felt guilt creep in when you tried to create space from someone helpful, you're not alone. And learning to separate love from obligation is one of the most liberating acts of self-care you can practice. Up next, we'll meet another type, the polished perfectionist who makes life look flawless, but hides struggles you never see. And if this message resonates, subscribe to the channel and let us know which subtle patterns you'd like us to explore in our next video. Your stories guide these conversations. You know the type, the person who seems to have it all together. They're up at 5 a.m., sipping green juice after yoga, running a thriving business, traveling to beautiful places, all while looking flawless. Their social media is a carefully curated highlight reel. Beach sunsets, tidy desks, inspirational quotes. From the outside, it looks like they've unlocked the secret to life. But Carl Jung would caution us here. When someone's life appears too perfect, it's often because a part of themselves, their shadow, is being hidden, not healed. Perfection can be a mask, covering anxiety, grief, or fear of being seen as imperfect. I once had a friend who seemed endlessly positive, but later admitted she felt she had to perform happiness because people expected it from her. Behind the glow, she was exhausted. The danger for us is comparison. When we measure our messy, real lives against someone else's filtered image, we can start to believe our struggles mean we're failing. We forget that everyone has bad days, private doubts, and unpolished moments that never make it to the feed. Lesson: true wholeness isn't about looking perfect. It's about embracing both the light and the dark, the wins and the wounds. Authenticity connects us far more than perfection ever could. So if you find yourself shrinking in someone's presence because they seem flawless, remember, you're seeing a role, not the full story. And you don't need to polish your humanity to be worthy of connection. In our next section, we'll explore the spiritual bypasser, the one who uses wisdom as a shield to avoid real emotions. If you've ever been told your pain is just an illusion, you'll want to stay for this. And if you're finding value in these insights, subscribe to the channel and share what hidden patterns you'd like us to explore next. Your input shapes our journey together. They speak in soft tones, wear serene expressions, and always seem above the noise of everyday life. They quote ancient wisdom, talk about raising your vibration, and remind you that everything happens for a reason. On the surface, it feels inspiring. But you start to notice something. When you share your pain, they don't actually meet you there. Instead, they say, "Your soul chose this," or "You just need to let it go." Carl Jung would see this as a form of avoidance. True spiritual growth requires integrating the shadow, the messy, human parts of ourselves. But the spiritual bypasser uses philosophy as a shield, avoiding discomfort by reframing real emotions into abstract lessons. I once confided in a mentor about a deep loss, and instead of empathy, I got a lecture on karma. The harm is subtle but real. When pain is dismissed as an illusion or a low vibration, it can make you question your right to feel. You might even try to suppress your emotions to appear evolved, cutting yourself off from the very experiences that lead to healing. Lesson: authentic spirituality doesn't float above human suffering. It walks through it, hand in hand with empathy. Wisdom without compassion isn't wisdom at all. And here's the bigger picture. From the rule follower to the social comfort enforcer, from the helper with strings to the polished perfectionist and the spiritual bypasser, they all carry a disowned shadow. Sometimes, we've been these people too. The key isn't judgment, it's awareness. The more you own your own shadow, the less power others' shadows have over you. If you value inner clarity over surface validation and want to keep exploring the deeper layers of human behavior, subscribe to the channel. Share your thoughts in the comments and let us know which hidden patterns you'd like us to uncover next, because your journey shapes this conversation, and together we can build a life no mask can touch.